I could usher.
Make sure you sign it.
You gotta have a little flashlight.
Okay, call the meeting to order for November 8th. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for coming. It's very nice to see so many people here. I stated before, but if you haven't signed in, please sign in for the minutes. And also, if you come to the podium to talk, please state your name and spell it. Our clerk and recorder's not here, so she'll be doing the minutes from the recording. So please be sure to spell your name also. Couple of announcements. The Indian Creek Railroad Crossing tomorrow will be closed from 9 to 2:30 for railroad work. We sent out reminders, I think, or notifications. I don't believe it was in any paper, and that's up to the railroad to do, not us. But I want to let as many people know because that's a long closure. TJ Gravely, Public Works Director, asked me to mention that effective immediately because of the time change, Winston's site will be closed. It's now 2 to 6 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It will now be 1 to 5 because it's dark at 5:01. The other item I have is just want to remind everybody about Operation Greenlight. We did that resolution last week. Veterans Day is Saturday. Our offices are closed Friday to celebrate, acknowledge, and thank all the veterans. And I would also add all the active servicemen across the country right now, and keep all veterans in active service in your thoughts and prayers as the days go on. Any other announcements? That's all I have on my list. Public comment for any items not on the agenda that are under commission jurisdiction. If there's any public comment. No public comment? Okay, we will get started. We are happy to have MDT here today. Gino and Dave. Gino Leiva? Levi, I knew that was wrong. And Dave Gates. And anybody else from MDT?
Ryan Dahl.
Thank you. I did not have your name. And we do have some public comment to read before you guys talk. So
I'll start. This was the public comment letter sent in by Al and Cindy Christofferson to the Broadwater County Commissioners and the MBT Highway and Bridge representatives. Dear Commissioners and MDT representatives, we cannot attend the meeting in person, so we are submitting our personal comments via this letter. We live in the Silos neighborhood, residing there since 2006. We have witnessed a significant increase in vehicle traffic and associated safety concern issues for our neighbors. Community, business, tourism, recreational use on the section of Highway 287, Highway 12 from Townsend over the Missouri River Bridge and past the Silos Road Junction. Several lives have been lost on this section of highway during this time. We understand there are plans and discussions of plans for further upgrades to a 4 or 5 lane with middle turn lanes from the bridge to the end of the current 4 lane. We ask that you consider the following improvements, changes, and some creative design thinking for this segment of highway. These include and are not in any priority away the following. Design an 8-foot shoulder on the sides of the highway where traffic travels at 80 miles per hour does not constitute safe transit for walkers and bicyclists. The high amount of ingress and egress access points along this 8-mile stretch of highway is an incredible safety hazard. Consider designing a frontage road, especially along the west side of the highway, with a single or couple of highway access points. Consider as a safety, life-saving feature designing a safety corridor, pedestrian and bicycle trails from Townsend to the Silos Road that keeps the people off the freeway type highway. Consider as a safety, life-saving feature development of speed up and slow down lanes at all major intersections to allow for the merging of large commercial and recreational vehicles we see on this section of highway, high-speed road, such as Silos, Antelope, Whitehorse, Trailhead, Grandview, Loop, and Indian Creek roads. Consider designing a route that all four-wheelers, ATV, UTV vehicles can travel safely from the Silos Road to Townsend, as they are not high-speed vehicles and become a real safety element. On the high-speed highway, 4 to 5 lanes will not solve that problem. Consider designing and construction of 2 underpasses that will allow pedestrians and bicyclists to cross either side of the highway at the Silos Junction and somewhere near the mansion, that allow users to safely stay with trails that have to physically try to cross 4 to 5 lanes of high-speed traffic and get from the developing neighborhoods and Silos Recreation area to town. Provide an acceptable to MBT at a design plan for a cantilevered pedestrian walkway trail attached to the Missouri River Highway Bridge. Consider speed reductions from Hahn Road to Townsend that significantly and successfully allows traffic down. Provide a department liaison to work closely with Townsend and Broadwater County Commissioners on partnership development, funding programs, and safety trails. Thank you for the opportunity to comment. Al and Cindy Christopherson.
You took the short one.
Oh, I did?
Yeah, you did. Thanks. All right. Another letter, and this is from the BCDC Trails Committee, and Al Christopherson is the representative for them. Dear Commissioners and MDOT representatives, the Broadwater County Development Corp has identified walking and bicycle pathways as a current need, as well as meeting future needs of Broadwater County residents. A committee has been established to look at health, safety, community use, and recreational use of trails to develop a master plan to propose locations, issues, design standards, and financing opportunities to develop these trails. The committee has established a preliminary set of priority trails to begin a more in-depth effort at getting them established. We anticipate that after some public open houses and meetings and further refinement, having a drafting plan completed by early 2024. The committee's work so far has surfaced several trail-related items that we would like to bring to your attention dealing with highways and bridges. Specifically, the Missouri River Bridge on the north edge of Townsend requires a walkway. Additionally, there are 3 main highway segments the committee has prioritized that include highway right-of-way use, trail design, and funding of Highway 287, or Highway 287 and 12 from Townsend to the Silos Road, Highway 12 from Townsend to the Broadwater County Fairgrounds, and Highway 287 from Townsend to Toston. There was other long-term roadside ROW to be considered, but these are the ones the committee has proposed to focus on for now. Missouri River Bridge at Townsend, approximately 500 feet. This bridge is considered by our committee as the single barricade to the development of safe and usable trails accessing all trail opportunities north of the bridge in Broadwater County. The community views the bridge as unsafe for pedestrians, and most bikers do not want or like to use it because of narrow shoulders and the 55-mile-an-hour speeds. Pedestrians do not cross it because of safety fears. Children are not allowed in most cases to cross that bridge. The bridge has a paved trail from downtown Townsend to the Indian Creek Campground and a gravel surface trail on the north side that ties into the various trails, segments, and types that lead all the way to the silos and even further to Winston, and several access points, developing neighborhoods, and to the Elkhorn and Canyon Ferry Lake. Without development of pedestrian walkway with this bridge, all trail development north of it cannot tie to Townsend nor Townsend residents to anything north of the bridge. This is a critical piece of hiking, biking transit through Broadwater County. Highway 287-12, Townsend north to Silos and Antelope Road Junction, approximately 6.2 miles. This section of highway has been identified as a priority by the committee for several reasons. It would allow residents from all the subdivisions on both sides of the highway a way to access the lake and Townsend and vice versa. We need a safe trail system, properly designed and constructed, that would allow and in fact encourage residents to use it safely. This could involve a dual trail system on both sides of the highway with underpasses at both ends that allow users to cross under the to-be-built 4 to 5 lane highway and not have to try and cross it. The number of deaths on this section of highway already highlight the need to keep people off it and away from the shoulders. Highway 12, Townsend to the Fairgrounds. This trail would stretch from Harrison Street on the edge eastern edge of Townsend, along the north side of the highway to the main entrance to the fairgrounds, approximately 1.5 miles. This trail would allow town residents to access the fairgrounds without trying to walk in the undeveloped roadsides or walk or ride their bikes on a very narrow highway shoulder. This trail would facilitate access to the fairgrounds by people desiring to walk or ride and get exercise, or people staying at the fairgrounds and wanting a no vehicular avenue to access Townsend. Mr. Gates has seen this proposed segment on the ground. We believe this trail will provide a great community use trail to enhance attendance at fairground activities as well as family exercise and wellness use. Highway 287 Townsend to Toston, approximately 9.9 miles. This is a route sought by many people as it accesses two communities and makes a longer segment than other trail segments. It would or could utilize existing highway ROW. If the segments that are not yet 4 to 5 lane get developed, we feel inclusion of a safe trail system is warranted. The highway portion would also tie to many other identified routes of existing county roads that make this a very appealing route and will keep, again, walker bikers off the high-speed road. This road is a very high-speed segment, and it keeps people from using this area. Other long-term highway ROW use segments, and I'm assuming ROW is range of work. Is that
Right of way.
Right of way. Okay, range of work, right of way. Okay. The committee's vision of the county trail network would include the use of highways 287 and Highway 12, clear across the county lines, use of Highway 285 from Toston to Radersburg, Highway 437 from Highways 285 to 12, Highway 284 from Highway 12 north to Broadwater County line. We believe that as highways are upgraded to handle heavier and faster traffic flows, that a commensurate hike and bike adjacent trail system must be part of the upgrade design and cost as a safety and life-saving component. A design that merely includes an 8-foot shoulder on a new 4 to 5 lane highway does not create a safe travel route for hikers, bikers, especially since a 4 to 5 lane roadway is identical to the nearby interstate highway that has an 80 mile per hour speed limit. Drivers turning onto the state 4 to 5 lane highway drive at the same, so the increased speeds negate usability of the shoulder by the hikers and bikers. Thank you for the opportunity to provide input into MDOT and Broadwater County alternative transportation systems associated with the existing highway system and potential upgrades to it. Sincerely, BCDC Trails Committee and Al Christopherson, Representative.
Hey, I gotta take a 5-minute break,
Okay.
Okay.
and I'm gonna tell you guys why. Anybody serve in Iraq or Afghanistan? That alarm just took me back there. That's the incoming rocket alarm. I gotta go
No,
clear my head
Take
for
a minute. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
we will take a 5-minute break, or 10 minutes. Those of you that came in after some announcements, there's a sign-up sheet. Now would be a great time. Please sign in. We need that. It's back in the corner. We need that for our minutes.
Do we need more chairs?
And if you come up to the microphone to speak, please say your name and spell your name. And there's a bathroom there and a restroom down the hall, right here. Those were the critical ones.
Do we need more chairs?
Don't know yet. I think
Okay.
everybody's got one, right?
Good for now. Debbie? Oh, sorry.
No.
Very good. Do we want to make copies of these for DOT?
You can. Just 5 minutes. I wrote online.
Here. I was just thinking for the Department of Transportation guys.
Okay.
You can ask them how many they want.
And make a couple more. Thank you, Melissa.
It is really warm in here. Holy cow. Hi, Catherine. How are you?
We have my chair. Oh, sign it. That's it.
It heats up so fast in here. Add some bodies and it's like,
I just got a chill earlier.
you can't shake it.
Yeah, I know. I've got to find out what's going on with that. Is she supposed to present anything?
No, she's just supposed to bring them over and say, hey, we have two.
Let me do that.
Okay, thank
I'll
you.
take care of
I-
Yeah, I talked to her. It sounded like all she would do is
We're not
back
gonna-
up and see something.
Yes, thank you. We don't, we will not.
No.
Yeah,
yes.
but we need to help. Thank you. I didn't know she wasn't going to be here.
I thought she was supposed to.
She just texted me that she's taking minutes from her desk.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, but she just texted
What are you
me.
talking about, Angie?
Yes, Angie. Angie.
So,
I don't know.
are the packets coming in from Angie?
They were delivered to Angie.
Oh, they were.
They were supposed to be.
That was
Vicki, can I embarrass you? Okay.
Yep, good to go.
Embarrass you?
Before we start the meeting again, I just want to introduce the newly elected mayor of Townsend, Vicki Rausser. Congratulations.
Yay.
Right behind you. They didn't see you stand up. The election was last night, for those of you that don't live in the city.
Thank you.
We do have more chairs.
Thanks, Melinda. Yep.
Okay, we will resume the meeting. MDT, the floor is yours. I don't know who wants to talk first.
Good morning, Commissioners, Broadwater County constituents. My name is Dave Gates, D-A-V-E-G-A-T-E-S. I serve as the MBT Butte District Pre-Construction Engineer. And, I'll just address briefly some of the public comment that we heard. I've collaborated with Mr. Christofferson over the last year or so, recognize and understand the goals and visions of the Broadwater County Trails Group and your constituents that are focused on trying to improve that type of access, and applaud the efforts. Projects of that magnitude start from planning and communication and coordination, and definitely will continue having that open conversation with the group and trying to help find ways that whether it's through outside funding opportunities or other means to take those considerations in moving forward. Moving off of the request for trails and into what I'm excited to share with you here today, the Silo South project has been a project that we've had nominated for several years now. We just finished our 5-year planning process, our tentative construction plan, and we were able to get that into our 5-year plan. The project, as nominated, begins at Silos Road at the Silos Bar and extends to Springville Lane as currently nominated. We have previously completed some project development with respect to just the early stages of identifying the anticipated scope of work. It's too early at this point to discuss any specific scope of work elements anticipated outside of how the project was nominated, which is intended to improve the safety and operation of the roadway as a function of a variety of traffic-related incidences over the years. The project will be funded from National Highway Corps funds and Highway Safety Improvement Program funds. So we're kind of, again, at the early stages of project development. We will be reaching out to you as we kick things off, and certainly be engaging quite a bit with that project. Another project I want to bring to your attention, we have the turn lane at the Big Bull Bar. We just got that project out for design to a consultant and had the initial scoping meeting. As nominated, the project was to include a northbound left turn lane or southbound left turn lane from Helena to the approach at the bar. We've decided to consider with project development a northbound left turn lane as well. So more details of that will be rolled out as we develop the design. And certainly be reaching out on both projects.
I was going to ask you about Winston.
Yeah.
I've had a few calls lately.
Okay, wonderful.
Thank you.
You have any questions?
Well, I mean, just for everybody's benefit, we know, we talk with you guys when we go to our MACO meetings all the time, so we receive updates, and we'll probably be sharing those with everybody when we receive those updates, so.
Excellent.
I guess, thanks for always for taking time when we're at those meetings to have those conversations. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And, you know, we're always, myself or Gino in the district, we're always happy to have conversations, meetings if you have questions, and certainly a lot of challenges associated with the magnitude of needs and wants out there. So what we're focused on is trying to optimize what improvements we can create with funding availability. And hate to be a broken record here, but needs outpace funding available, and we're doing the best we can to come up with the right project at the right time and balance out statewide. And
Yeah, I think another thing too, and you guys might not be aware of it because it's in the secondary program, is it 284, TJ?
Yes.
We're working on a project on Highway 284 to
yep.
resurface that and
Yep.
do some safety upgrades there too, so.
So at the district, Gino and I, from a program management
Okay,
standpoint, aren't responsible for the secondary. However, because
Okay.
it's in our district, we are involved.
okay,
So
perfect.
yes, we're very aware.
Okay,
Yep.
awesome. Yeah, thank you for that. I
You're
mean,
welcome.
the reality is I think most all of our secondary roads in Broadwater County will be resurfaced hopefully by the end of next year, that's pretty amazing, isn't it?
That is amazing.
So, anyway, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I would just say, as you guys know things or learn things or things come to light and get decided, keep up the communication with us so we can share it with people. It's important. We get a lot of questions, and it's super helpful. to
Will
be
do.
ab- Yeah, to be able to let everybody know what's going on.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Gino? And I think the plan is for the public, once MDT gets done talking, we will open it up to public comment.
Good morning, Commissioners, members of the public. My name is Gino Liva, G-E-N-O-L-I-V-A. I am the Butte District Administrator for MDT. I'm here today to talk about the Toston structure. I'm sure you're aware this structure is scour critical. MDT has major concerns that if something were to happen to this structure, the risk of it hitting our new structure crossing the Missouri River. As I understand, there has been some question of whose responsibility this structure is, whether it's the counties or the states. MDT is here to propose removal of that structure at our cost, just to eliminate that possibility of damaging the new structure and what it could do to the 287 route.
Time frame for that?
I might have to rely on Ryan.
I don't have a timeline.
For removal or for decisions or?
Both. Guess decision first.
So once
I don't know
we,
the process.
we're asking for the county and the commissioners to be willing to move forward with us removing the structure. Once and if that decision is made, we'll get it into our plan and then move forward. I don't anticipate that this is going to be a project that will be out years. I think as soon as we can move forward, we will because of the risk factor.
Okay.
Do you want to, just for public information, explain what scour critical means? Sorry.
Let Ryan take that one.
Okay.
Good morning, Commissioners. Ryan Dalkey, Ryan, D as in Delta, AHLKE. I'm representing Montana Department of Transportation as the statewide pre-construction engineer. So basically, I do what Mr. Gates does statewide. And under my purview is our bridge section. So I'm not a bridge expert, but they are part of the group that I help lead. So scour criticality is, the easiest way to think of it is when a bridge foundation is built on what we call spread footings, instead of piers being drilled into way down into the bedrock, it's just a big concrete pad that the piers sit on. Those tend to undermine when we get high river flows and that kind of thing, and it undermines that spread footing, which means that the spread footing itself doesn't have its full base to rely on, putting it at high risk to tip over, thereby collapsing the bridge and some catastrophic things happening that nobody wants to happen. So just because a bridge is scour critical doesn't mean that it's impending failure and it's unsafe. It just means that once we identify a bridge as scour critical, we actively monitor it. We're doing diving inspections, ground penetrating radar, that kind of thing to make sure we keep an active eye on that. But this bridge, because it is scour critical, we really do feel like this needs to be, as Gino spoke to, really needs to be repaired or removed, and removed is the absolutely best, most cost-effective solution. So getting that out of the danger and the risk of collapsing and then damaging the 287 structure, which are highly critical for commerce and all the users here in the room, that's the proposed solution. So I think that's what Gino is proposing, is that we're asking the county, you commissioners, is that something that you are interested in? Is that something that is acceptable? Given the unknowns and the debate on who actually owns the structure, we'll take that and remove it on our dime, program it and get it into the works and get it removed as soon as we can. Any other questions for me?
Any other questions right now?
No, I don't think so. I mean,
Right.
what I see is, we'll probably got some future public meetings to have that discussion. And so would we just contact you, Gino?
Yes.
For
Yes,
moving forward in
absolutely.
the future, whatever we decide to do?
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Anything else from MDT right now? Any public comment regarding MDT, the bridge, their plans? Come on up to the microphone. We'll just take turns, and please state your name and spell it.
My name's Doug Arden, Dougarden. My question to you guys is, what's the cost of removing it compared to the cost of fixing the abutments around it?
And let me say for public comment, just so
Okay.
you know, I know it's rare that, public, so I appreciate you always being here. You can ask us,
Okay.
and then we'll.
Okay, gotcha. Well, that was the
What's
question.
cost comparison? MDT. That's a great question.
Yes, thank you for that question, Mr. Arden. That is a really good question, and it's easy for me to say it's the most cost-effective solution and then not give you my numbers, right? So the cost to replace that structure is upwards of $10 million. It's a very large structure that spans the Missouri River, which costs the costs are exorbitant. And the $10 million cost estimate is a planning level discussion. Once we get in there, it could easily inflate to something more. That is the general idea right now, though, for a planning level estimate. Removal of the structure is a tenth of that. It's getting that structure out is much, much cheaper. I can't give an exact number right now. We do that through our analysis in putting together an engineer's estimate and feasibility, contractor availability, all of that stuff that gets poured into an engineer's estimate for that work, but it is an order of magnitude less.
Well, I wasn't saying replace.
Come up to the microphone.
Oh,
Every
yeah.
time. I know.
Yeah.
Yep.
It'll become habit.
I was just wondering how much it would cost to repair what's there.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
Go
ahead.
To repair what's there.
right.
Sorry, I apologize. I did hear that question, and I leaped right to the ultimate solution has to be replacement of the structure because everything else is in such poor condition. Repairing the abutments and the piers and that kind of stuff is not a viable solution without full replacement of the structure. So replacement is it.
Ryan, I got a question. If it was decision was made to remove it, would you remove the piers as well?
That would all be taken into
Just
account
curious.
into the scope. The piers would likely be removed. The foundation, all that stuff has to be coordinated with people like our organizations like the Corps of Engineers. All that stuff, that permitting that has to go into, we get input from resource agencies to help guide us in those decisions. Feasible? Yes. What the resource agencies are desiring is another story.
Sure. Thank you.
Yep.
I have a question for you too, Ryan. Sorry.
Yes.
Don't run away yet, please. No. My question would be just based on your estimate for replacement. We're all focused on, well, not we all, but a lot of people are focused on replacing the bridge. What is the estimate cost of maintaining a bridge once it's replaced like that?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I don't have those numbers, what it would cost if a new bridge were to go in, what the cost, what the ultimate maintenance is, what that cost would be. Generally speaking, bridge maintenance costs aren't really high for the first 25 years.
Right.
If they're designed correctly and built correctly. Of course, the costs to maintain really start coming to fruition when you get to that mid to end of life. Granted, that all considers that basic maintenance is going to be performed throughout the life. And that's just making sure that you're inspecting it, painting if needed, that kind of thing.
There is ongoing maintenance, a fair
There
amount
is.
of ongoing maintenance.
There
Okay.
is, yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ryan.
I'm Beryl Newman, BRYLNEWMAN. My question is has there been a consideration for restricted use for this bridge, where it becomes only a pedestrian bridge and there's no truck or automobile traffic allowed, maybe with a restricted size opening to keep those vehicles off of this in order to save this bridge? Also, is anyone aware that this is a registered national landmark?
We are. I'll answer some of those questions. Yeah, we are aware that it's a national registered bridge, and also that was our first thought too, something that we could do to make it a pedestrian bridge or for UTVs and some, the Amish like to use it to go across the bridge to get their mail and things like that. What we found out in talking with not only MBT engineers but or other engineers that we use, the engineering to have a bridge just for pedestrian use is greater than it would be for vehicle use. And it took us all by surprise why that would be. Maybe these guys can expand on that a little bit more, but they go by the weight limit of the number of people that could possibly be on that bridge at one time versus a vehicle as that load is spread out with the axle. So that's what I know. Is that correct, you guys? Yeah. I would have never thought that.
That was shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
would certainly be a great option.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Aaron Smith, AARON, SMITH. I'm just going to ask, so if you guys do get rid of the bridge, what are the pedestrians going to do? Because there's a lot of, you're not going to go on that 287 with people.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing is secondary escapeway. Okay, I'm not going to say no names, but the other day I had 2 trucks blocking the whole place and I can barely fit my truck. What if one of these guys, older people, elderly, have an emergency and the ambulance can't get through? That was always a secondary escapeway. That's
Can't get through, I'm sorry, I just want to make sure I understand.
on the new road.
Bridge.
Since the bridge has been shut down, there's not a secondary escapeway out of Toston. The other day, I had 2 trucks, and I could barely get my truck through. And, I had to go somewhere, and I don't know why the people did it, but this is not the first time. But what I'm saying is elderly people, or anybody that needs an ambulance, how are they going to get in? There was nobody in these trucks, That's one of the questions. And the pedestrians.
Where were your trucks? Sorry, I'm struck. Where were your trucks?
What's that?
You said there were 2 trucks. Where were the trucks? I'm just
The
trying to.
big semis.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I'm not gonna
Thanks. Yeah.
blame no names, but
No, I didn't need to know that. I was just trying to
yeah,
envision what you
they're
were talking
big
about.
semis, so you couldn't just.
Right.
And there was big ditches on the. Well, not big ditches, but it doesn't matter if there's a side road or not, because there could be 4 foot of snow there. You can't get through it. If somebody does that again, I can understand that it's their fault, but they don't know. They're not from Toston. They don't know how much people live there. I think that's all I have.
Yeah. I guess I appreciate that comment, and that we've talked about that multiple times because we realize that that could be an alternate way to get across. If for some reason that bridge is closed, who knows? There might be an accident. We've talked about that before, and that'll be actually part of the things that we'll consider when we get ready to make that decision.
And I would just add, I completely understand that, what you're saying about having another access. The worst possible thing is for the old Toston Bridge to fall apart and collapse or endanger the new Toston Bridge so much that can't be used. I can't imagine that happening, but I think that's what MDT is telling us is the risk, and that would virtually shut down this county in many ways. So I get it. I get it. Public comment.
Roger Flynn, ROGERFLYNN. I actually would like to comment on what Aaron said. I think that's a pretty important point, especially as fire is common in Montana. How can you immediately exit the city of or the town of Toston in a safe way? I don't think the bridge is the solution, but there probably should be consideration to another egress out of Toston. The main reason I want to talk today was about the traffic from Townsend to Silos. I'm a big proponent of some solution there. The Trailhead Church is one example of that. There's spurs of traffic on certain times of the week that can become very dangerous, especially turning left onto the highway. Obviously, we all know about the accident that occurred recently. I think that's a somewhat unusual part of this, that it's not in many ways directly tied to the safety of the highway itself. But I think it's just another example of there's so much egress, ingress to the highway from new homes. There's probably over 1,000 people. I think there's 750 to 1,000 people in that area, and it's growing fast. So just an encouragement that the faster we can get that highway repaired, the better for our community. I also would encourage whoever is making decisions on the highway that the Springville to Townsend area would need to be addressed in some way, shape, or form, whether it be speed control until a new section at the Springville Road is addressed. You can't adjust one area and not affect the other. So I think that adjustment would need to take place all the way from Springville into the old Ford dealership. So.
Thanks, Roger.
Adam Six, ADAMSIX, Broadwater County Parks and Recreation / former resident. As we've seen here this morning, I think it's important to recognize that experience can change perception. And I would welcome any individuals, especially the folks that traveled up from Butte, to walk across the north of Townsend River Road Bridge and take a look at that and see what that's like, see how that feels when trucks pass, the sand in your face, the river off to your side, just to gain that experience. And on the 287 structure that we're talking about protecting, on behalf of Transportation Alternatives, I believe there's a large sign, maybe 24 by 36, that says, do not cross, risk of electrocution hazard, for animal safety, I guess. So I would recommend take a look at that. I've never walked across the 287 new structure. I don't want to because I don't want to be electrocuted. I will heed that warning and take it into consideration. So thank you for coming, and I hope you guys take a right, walk across the bridge, walk back, and say, that wasn't pleasant. And Parks and Recreation look forward to working with you as these projects develop. Thank you.
Butch Barton, BUTCHBARTON. I want to move this a little bit farther south. Want an update on the rest area down there in the southern end of Broadwater County. It's just there. It's not bothering me too bad. I like to see it closed, to be honest with you, but it's going to open someday. And with that being said, have they seriously considered reducing the speed through there? I think that's going to be a big mess. It shuts it down right there at Wheatland Road. We need to back it up to the bottom of the hill as it comes off there, knock it down to 55 or whatever, and probably 45 from Wheatland Road on into the interstate. So I think it's going to be a big safety concern if we don't look into that. So yeah, just looking for some updates.
All right, good. Thanks. And that actually reminded me of a conversation that we had about the interchange down there too. So let's talk about that, Gina, as long as we're talking about the south end. Yep.
Commissioners, first I'd like to address the question on the rest area. Currently the rest area has been completed. We are waiting for final inspection once the developer has submitted everything that they need to. So we're currently on hold waiting for them to get their submittals in as far as the land trade, the land swap, and then we will do our final inspection and it will be open. Once that is in process and we're getting there, I'll coordinate with MHP, Broadwater County, and our MCS officers to make sure that they're aware that that is open. We'll get them keys and they'll have access. Okay. So we're on hold right now. You want to talk about the interchange? Sure.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah. So thanks for bringing up the southern end of the district or the county down there. We have a project nominated in the professional engineering phase, PD phase, to study the operations associated with the I-90 structure at the interchange, Wheat Montana interchange, the West Three Forks interchange, recognizing that we're starting to see some operational performance issues associated with the eastbound on-ramp and westbound off-ramp. You know, a lot of traffic on I-90, a lot of traffic on 287. Don't know what it's going to look like yet, but the we're anticipating that analysis will indicate the need to potentially extend those ramps, improve those ramps, or maybe signalize those ramps at the intersection with 287. So that is coming. We're data driven. We need the data to make the decision. So here we are collecting the data to inform us to make sure that we're doing the right project at the right time.
Okay, good. I guess an important thing is that it's on your guys' radar.
Yeah, for sure.
And, I've made this statement before. I never thought in my lifetime I'd see traffic backed up on the off-ramp down the interstate. And I think people that have experienced it are like, wow.
Yeah.
This is kind of amazing. So this has been a big transformation for us.
Certainly a lot more volume on I-90 in general, and with development and expansion in the greater Gallatin County region and folks living between here and there, commuting, we're experiencing that. FHWA takes issue when we start backing traffic up onto the interstate, so we see it, we hear it.
Yep.
Okay.
Perfect. Thanks, Dave.
You're welcome.
Dave, do you or Gino or Ryan have comments about reducing the speed through?
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the reminder. Currently, we do not have a speed study request in for that area down by south end from Wheatland intersection, south of the interstate. You would have to nominate that to us.
So we can do that. Can we go back to the beginning? I'm going back through my notes. When you spoke earlier, I believe it was Dave, you said Silos South project is a 5-year plan. Does that mean you're planning for more planning in 5 years, or it will start in 5 years, or it will be completed?
Oh, sure, thank you. So what I was referring to is our 5-year financial planning. Okay. So how we identify what projects we're going to be able to program for construction within that 5-year window. And I currently, as it sits within our 5-year plan, we're there's not a money tree out there, so we basically have to take what projects we have out there and sprinkle them in with what budget we have available. That's a simple way to put it. And so I have the project programmed beginning in fiscal year 27, currently in this year's TCP. Building a good road takes time, folks, and normal project development associated with a capital improvement project of that magnitude takes 3 to 5 years. In general, that's what it takes to get through the necessary design and project development associated with environmental compliance and all of the hoops we have to jump through with the federal aid dollars. It's like the golden rule. The feds have the gold and they make the rules, so we have to follow those rules. We ensure that we do that in the most efficient way possible. We have some great opportunity with the Silo South project in that the current proposed scope of work from Silos to Springville could potentially be constructed within that existing right-of-way. That gives us opportunity to accelerate parts of project development, recognizing some of the public comment with respect to the additional ancillary elements. Projects never shrink in scope, they always grow in scope. So there again, we don't have a money tree, so we're trying to do the best we can to optimize that project with what we can do that will translate to improving the safety for the traveling public, okay? And I think there was also a comment about the speed from Springville to Townsend. There again, we currently do not have a speed study request in. So that would be another thing, commissioners, you might consider if you'd like us to look at that.
I think one thing we discussed that is an advantage for that project is I think currently you have a lot of right-of-way there.
Correct.
And I think that helps you guys out a lot.
And, you know, I'm always optimistic when I look at things. I see it and, gosh, I think we can get this knocked out without triggering the need for acquisition of additional property. That said, it's so early in project development, I don't want to tell you that we can do that and then have to come back and say, oh, There again, it's fit within our 5-year planning horizon in a way that can accommodate our project development. It's our priority to get this project delivered, and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I say program for fiscal year 27, that could mean if everything works perfectly, that will get awarded for construction in 27, but that could mean construction in 28 or thereof. And again, it's too early to commit to any particular schedule other than, confirming with you that it is in our 5-year plan.
Thank you so much for that definition. I just
Yeah.
want everybody to leave here knowing what the 5-year plan means.
Yeah, thank you.
If we as commissioners decide to ask MDT for speed studies, as you discussed, sooner than later in your planning process?
As a function of our project or something else?
As a function of your project.
The project, that is its own thing, and the speed studies need to be looked at independently from that project, so that doesn't need to be in lockstep with our project development.
Thank you.
And again, with the project limits associated with our current project, our project development is a tool we use to inform those decisions about what the needs of the project are. So as it sits right now, the project is federally nominated. The feds say, okay, you can look at it from point A to point B, given what you said it is, from Silos to Springville. Okay? And therein lies the challenge. As we start adding scope of work elements or length, that has to be accounted for in a budget somewhere, right? So it's my focus and goal to ensure we get this much needed project on the ground as soon as practical, and we'll be working together on making sure we can balance the needs and interests of all the folks and ultimately, get a project on the ground that will translate to improved safety for the traveling public, okay?
Thanks.
Any other public comment for MDT?
Real fast. Roger Flynn, ROGERFLYNN. As we talk about the full stream of traffic from the junction all the way north to Helena, obviously we're growing fast as a county. There's a lot of points of need along that route. I think that just to add to that, the stop light in the middle of town, especially in the middle of summer, can become a huge bottleneck and can become an issue for safety, I think, as semis are going through there and traffic's backed up all the way to Rocky Mountain Supply and beyond. That stoplight probably could be a point of discussion at some point soon.
Okay.
Franklin Slifka, SLIFKA. Got a lot of things here I could say, but I'll shorten it up. First of all, I think MDT and the county are both liable for a lot of that, not keep the maintenance up on the old bridge, for one thing. And the second thing is, during that construction for 2 years, them contractors went across that old bridge with everything there was, and nothing was ever done about it. I did hear just recently that somebody from Dawson had called in, and the GVW was there this one day, and here comes a semi on the flatbed across it, and he was overweight to be on a highway. It wasn't even legal to be on a highway, and here he's crossing this bridge. So I think these contractors, they're all bonded and insured, and I think you should get on them and get that deck replaced through their insurance, and I think that would be done, because they just tore up so much of that cracked that asphalt on it, and then the moisture. Well, I won't go on that anymore. Also, mention them electrified cattle yards. The Amish come in all the time with their horse and buggies. They can't cross those, so they can't come into Toston or there. They can't even come to Townsend if they want to, unless they go on River Road. And there's signs there for pedestrians, bicyclers, and stuff to use 287 bypass, and they can't use it, Oh, let's see, what's another one I had here real quick to bring out. And there's so many ranchers work on boats, have property and cattle on both sides. So most times they're going to just do some irrigation. They're going to cross the four-wheeler or motorbike, something like that. Well, nobody wants to go across that new bridge on one of those things. I mean, it's just too damn dangerous. I hate to go across with my pickup. It did help since the state finally fixed that bad spot on there. I'd slow down to 5 miles an hour to go through it before they fixed it. Anyway, I'll yield and let somebody else talk, but that's my feelings. Oh, and back to the, where it would be just for pedestrian or side-by-sides, four-wheeler, something like that. It wouldn't take much for that. And I'm not going to go against the state right now, but I'll in the future. Thank you.
Thanks, Franklin.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
I'm Elizabeth Barton, Elizabeth Barton, and again back down to the south and to the yet unopened rest area. From 2021 on, when the public finally got called in to comment about that relocated rest area from Bozeman, MDT denied time and time again that there was a homeless problem that went along with the rest stop. So what I'm here to ask, I'm referencing an article and a news story that NBC Montana did on Sunday, May 14, 2023 by Michael Santosky. And the title of the article is Maintenance Issues, Construction of New Rest Area Leads to Rest Area Closure. And I'm going to quote his article. He says, quote, officials told us there were security concerns for the traveling public, homeless people going to the rest area to stay or cause damage to the facility, unquote. So as a citizen living down in that area, I'd like MDT to let us know who we need to call and what they're going to do to prevent that problem from moving with the rest area from Bozeman. We have nearby businesses, we have nearby residences, we have children at bus stops within walking distance of this rest area. Thank you.
Commissioners, Mrs. Barton. We hear your concerns. As we design these rest areas, we work with a team of consultants, and part of our major concern is the safety of these areas. So eliminating places that people could hide on the inside, make sure we have appropriate lighting through the areas to make them safe to come in and out of. I'm not aware of the article. I'll have to look that up to know which rest area they're talking about. But we have worked closely with Broadwater County, their sheriffs, and Highway Patrol to have a presence or opportunity of presence to have officers in that building, which should help reduce those risks. Thank you.
John Hahn, John Hahn. I'm here on behalf of BCDC, and I'm on another committee besides the Trails Committee that's studying to put in a community building and hopefully an aquatic center. And it was like Roger here, I'd like to address the stoplight down here. I'm guessing that MDT probably has been looking at solutions for that bottleneck down here with all the increased volume that we've been talking about here today. And we have not decided on a location for that community building if it goes through. We're looking at the east side of town, north side, in that area there. And I've heard rumors that maybe MDT might be putting the highway around the east side of town, but we'd just like to be kept in the loop on where that would be, because we wouldn't want to put in a center and have it in the way of a new highway. And this is going to be a 3 to 7 year project probably for sure, so we just wanted to be on the record for that. So, thank you.
Thank you for that comment, John, and I'm here to report that there are no plans or have been any plans to create a bypass to the east of Townsend.
That rumor has been going around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a few folks have asked me about that. They call up. I've heard, well, that's news to me as well, but no, there has no study, no plan, and I'm here to tell you that we're not proposing anything of that magnitude, okay?
Any thoughts about the light?
Sure. You know,
That's
it's
the
a
other
key
thing we hear
challenge
about a lot.
everywhere, right? You know, we yearly have our traffic data, our traffic counts out there. Really what it takes is this conversation, you know, on the ground where we see there's issues. Signalized intersections, for example, have to meet specific warrants before they can be signalized, right? So mainline traffic in relation to the intersecting side street. I'm not the subject matter expert there. I have experienced delay as I'm trying to come through the intersection as well, and often give our statewide traffic operations engineer a hard time about it. So it's on a radar. I'll ask the question and recognize that we're in a dynamic, evolving growth period in Montana, and recognizing it's going to continue, and these are just challenges we have statewide, okay?
Thank you for addressing those.
You're welcome.
Any other public comment about the bridge, roads, since we have these gentlemen from MDT here?
I'm Barb DeMartin, BarbDeMartin. I really don't know what to say. That the fact that they're going to tear this bridge down, just, I should have seen it coming, but I didn't. It totally blindsides me. And then, I mean, that was an escape route from Toston, and I also had to crawl through between those two semis the other day. I listened to BRDC talking about the trail system they're having and south, but I missed the part about how they were going to get them across the new bridge there at Toston. I can't believe, and
I don't believe that was addressed.
well, you're putting all them in that bottleneck that you've put us in. You know, four-wheelers have to come across that, horse and buggies. There has to be an alternate bridge put in if you're going to tear down that old bridge. There just has to be. You can't put people, four-wheelers, horse and buggies, up there on that bridge to compete. It's suicide. Thank you.
Thank you all. Any other comment? Thank you all very much, and I greatly appreciate MDT making the time and being so open and honest with your answers. And we will talk more.
Thank you.
Thank you guys very much for making the trip. Next item on the agenda, Eric Seidensticker and Catherine Anderson, Montana Business Assistant Connection, Certified Regional Development Corporation via the MDT Department of Commerce resolution.
Good morning, Commissioners. Eric Seidensticker, ERIC-SEIDENSTICKER. Probably going to be the longest last name in the group. Just saying. Thank you. As the chair alluded to, we
Hold
are...
on just a second, Eric. For those of you that are leaving the meeting, could you, and we can't close the doors, so I just know how the background noise picks up on the video.
Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you, excuse me, everybody, for those of you who are leaving the meeting, if you could keep your voices down, we cannot close this door.
She takes Thank you very much, Angie.
Okay.
Thanks, Anne. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, that's okay. Thank you. Again, Eric Seidensticker with MBAC speaking on our behalf. We are currently in the process of going through a recertification process with the Certified Regional Development Corporation, CRDC for short. Just a brief background on the program. The Certified Regional Development Corporation program was created by the 2003 Montana legislator to encourage a regional approach to economic development that facilitates the efficient delivery of programs by supporting regional capacity. And then MCA 90-1-116 speaks about the definitions, and then the Department of Commerce is the state department that develops the ARM, the administrative rule, and is essentially the gatekeeper for all of the CRDCs. During our time, literally about 20 years to the day, MBAC first applied to become a CRDC to the state. During that time, the county has always supported us in that 20-year span as we've renewed with the program. It's changed every so often, but at the 2019 legislature, the program was recertified for funding, and then we've gone through 2-year intervals to reapply to that. Our current contract expires at the end of this year, and then we'll have another 7-year window, so that would take us from 24 to 2030. In the past, we have asked all of our counties and cities that we serve, so Lewis and Clark, Broadwater, Marr County, those communities inside, for a letter of support. And then during discussions with the Department of Commerce, we asked if we could do that again, and they politely told me, no, you cannot, because we need new resolutions, because at the time the county gave us one, we were known as Gateway Economic Development Corporation. So in part of doing housekeeping with all this, we've obviously rebranded in that 20-year time frame, and the department told us that we needed to get new resolutions certified by the county. So we have done that with the 2 other neighboring counties, and we are ending here today with Broadwater County and asking them to give us a new resolution. And then the program is a matching program, so it requires a 1-to-1 match. And the way we match that is that we use our federal dollars from the United States Economic Development Administration, EDA for short, to match the $70,000 that the Department of Commerce gives us during the contract period. And what do we use that funding for? Basically, it's for Catherine and I to do our jobs, staff support, travel, and it's a major cog in our budget in terms of just having those dollars available for us to serve the cities and counties that we're in. And during that time, just a couple of quick highlights of things that we have accomplished. We've obviously grown our revolving loan fund portfolio pretty sizably over 20 years, serving the region. We've done numerous grants, technical assistance programs like the CTAP program that we helped the county get connected to. We've used it for business retention, recruitment, traction, things like that. So pretty broad, overarching. I'm happy to answer any questions, but that's just kind of why we're here, is basically a housekeeping item for the program as we get recertified. Thank you. Oh, and then Commissioners, I do apologize. I did notice on the resolution, actually Mayor-elect Rouser, thank you, caught on the resolution, about the second bullet point, there's the last thing that says other promising businesses in the, and then it stops. I think the last word there should be in the region. My apologies.
Where, I'm sorry, where are you?
Second bullet point at the bottom there.
Oh, and add what?
It should be promising businesses in the region, I believe.
Oh.
My apologies.
Thank you, Mayor-elect, for that typo, or finding the typo. It's our policy to read resolutions in their entirety. Would you like to do that, or I could do that?
I'm happy to do it, Madam Chair.
Perfect.
Yep. Whereas Broadwater County supports Montana Business Assistance Connection, Inc., MBAC for short, being one of the Certified Regional Development Corporations, CRDC, within the state of Montana, serving Broadwater County. Whereas CRDC, as a CRDC, MBAC will focus on its renewed 5-year Regional Development Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy, SEDS for short. MBAC will continue to offer concept development, business plan and application assistance, market analysis, expansion and relocation services, and basic financial concept services to our region. And whereas MBAC offers to its region loan funds from local, state, and federal government revolving loan funds. And whereas MBAC's economic development strategy will continue to focus on preserving and creating jobs through, first bullet point, retention and expansion by existing regional businesses with problems, issues, and opportunities by providing high quality Business planning, counseling, education, and information with a focus on improving and implementing analytic skills, improving competitiveness, and increasing profitability, and offer or link regional business owners with appropriate resources and markets. Second bullet point, access to capital by working with regional banks to provide capital to qualifying micro, small, and other promising businesses in the region with that addition. Third bullet point, attracting and promoting regional businesses, markets, and other quality of life inside and outside the state by providing high quality, tailored, and timely responses and follow up to requests for economic and market information, increasing national and global awareness of regional economic opportunities and assets via the internet. Lindsay, thank you for all that, by the way, in your work on that, and industry trade shows. Advocating for business climate change using research information at the state and local level. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Broadwater County here supports Montana Business Assistance Connection as the lead economic development organization for Broadwater County as a certified regional development corporation within the state of Montana.
Any questions from the commission or comments? Is there a motion?
I will move to approve the resolution. Hang on. For Montana Business Assistance Connection, also known as MBAC, Certified Regional Development Corporation via the Montana Department of Commerce.
With the
edit.
change,
Yep.
Okay, I'll second that.
Any public comment? Any public comment? There's a motion and a second to approve the resolution for MPAC, Certified Regional Development Corporation with the Department of Commerce. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. We will make this correction and give it to you.
Perfect. Thank you, Commissioners. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Oh, okay. Awesome. Next thing on the agenda is open, well, we're not going to open the bids, but the RFPs for the newspaper of record. Angie Paulson.
Good morning, Madam Chair, Commissioners. My name is Angie Paulson, A-N-G-I-E-P-A-U-L-S-E-N. I'm Broadwater County Clerk and Recorder.
Spelling it for yourself.
Yes.
Good
And
job.
for those online who wish to know. I'm just going to give you an update. I did receive 2 bids for the newspaper of record. They are unopened and will remain unopened until I hand them over to a county employee who will then redact the information of who submitted those. And that's all I have for you. Do you have any questions for me?
Anybody have anything to add to that? The committee will be meeting, I believe, later today or tomorrow, and this will be on our agenda for the 15th, next week, for a decision from the commission. So the process will be that committee will make their recommendation to us, and we will have the final decision. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nicole Brown. Jefferson Springs Ranch requests boundary relocations. And I apologize, on the agenda it says Jefferson River Ranch.
I didn't even look at that. Okay.
None of us did until
Till just this morning.
realized it.
Good catch.
Thank you, Catherine and Eric.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I am going to get started here. Nicole Brown, Broadwater County Community Development Director, here today to present the Jefferson River Ranch. Am I reading that correctly now? I'm sorry, Jefferson
Yeah.
Springs. I'm trying not to look at the agenda. Jefferson Springs Ranch exemption request. So I have to be honest with you, Commissioners. I had invited the surveyor to attend this meeting because I had some questions as well, and I'm not sure who the surveyor is, so if the surveyor is in the room, I will let him. Perfect, thank you. I'm sorry that we've never met, Greg, I know we've spoken, but I will let him take the podium because I think he can do a better job of explaining what's occurring on this survey, because I had some questions as well. So if you don't mind, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Greg Fink.
Good morning, Greg Fink, G-R-E-G-F-I-N-C-K, land surveyor with Allied Engineering, representing Jefferson Springs Ranch. So here we're just, most of this land is within Gallatin County, but it's crossing the county lines, so we're showing them in both, filing the exact same surveys in both counties. You saw this one about a year ago when we had the state do a disclaimer on an old channel that was abandoned, so we're just cleaning up the tracks. This survey is just showing tracks of record that have been transferred in the past, and then we're realigning 2 of those tracks, or 3 of those tracks. Most of the portion that's being realigned is in Gallatin County, but a little bit of the one lot goes into Broadwater County where the old channel was, so we're showing in both counties just to make it clear. I can answer any questions you have.
Madam Chair, may I ask a question?
Please.
So, Jania Hatfield, I'm the Deputy County Attorney.
Okay.
One of the things I was looking at on this is just, I know we've got a line between the 2 counties, and I just want to ensure, is that boundary line moving at all, or I just want to make sure that's not
No,
changing?
it's still being shown where the old channel was plotted by the original survey in 1868.
Okay.
So that line is still there.
Okay.
And these tracks are going across it. Yeah.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
I'm looking at the table, it's the area table for realigned tracks. And it lists areas added and subtracted. Is there area added to or subtracted from either county because of this realignment?
Not of the county, just the tracks that lie.
Just the tracks themselves?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a question there.
So same amount of ground in both counties, just?
Right.
Okay.
But there is tracks that go across both counties.
And did you say that Gallatin County has already looked at this and approved it?
They've looked at it, it's been recorded for about 6 months already. Yeah, it's done the exact same thing, just changed for the counties that's going through. But the exact same tracks.
Can you tell us what the disclaimer is down in the lower left corner of the thing?
That's still, we left that on to just address that old channel. It's the same thing that we had when the state disclaimed that old channel.
Okay.
Just explaining the navigability of the river and where the ownership is.
There have been no boundary relocations or anything on this?
We are doing boundary relocation on this survey. We're showing the tracks of record and realigning between 3 of them. It would be track 3, track 1, and track 6 by default.
Okay. I know
This ranch is kind of odd because there's an in-holding in the middle of it, so it's basically, as far as access, you basically access either the north or the south. So that's kind of why we did the realignment, is to make the one track that is track 1 more accessible all from the south, at where it would get used from. So track 3 and 4 and 5 mostly get access from the north, and track 1 and 6 get access from the south. So we kind of let those lay together, and how the pastures are set up in there. Follow the fence lines.
Nicole, did you have anything to? Nicole, did you have anything to add? Just want to make sure. Any other questions? Since we have Mr. Fink here.
The only thing I'll say is, for us to follow this map, pretty difficult.
It's confusing.
Yeah.
So confusing.
It
It's
is.
confusing. I did have the index on the bottom there that showed the existing tracks of record.
Right.
And then when I submitted to Nicole, I kind of had another sheet as colored. I don't know if that's in your packet. I can give you that if you want to look at. It kind of shows the existing tracks. You want to see that? It kind of shows how they existed before.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that what's on cadastral too? Just out of curiosity. 'Cause I
Well,
pulled up
well,
cadastral
it's
to
on
look
the
at
front
it.
page here.
The one reason we're doing this survey is it's not shown right on cadastral, and that's what started the whole thing, because you
Right.
couldn't tell what acreage was there and who the ownership was. So that's why we did the survey originally.
Yeah.
It's just kind of grown.
So does the old river channel, so is Jefferson Springs Ranch own that, or is that still part of the state of Montana?
They own it.
They
Yep.
do own it now?
Yep.
Okay.
Now, after the state disclaimed it, yep,
Okay.
they are the owners.
Okay.
And partly owners are the in-holding that's with inside it's Jefferson Springs, and the other in-holding inside, in the middle of this property.
Yeah, some of these that we do are simple, this one was not.
No,
So I
this one's
appreciate
not
you
simple.
saying.
Yeah, it was.
And the colored map kind of helps.
Yeah, this actually really does help. Should have sent this one.
Oh, that's what we do with our highlighters.
That's
This
what-
is
yeah.
so much better.
I know, it was better than my
Highlighters
highlighted
here.
version.
Okay.
Thanks.
Janine, did you have any other questions?
No, I don't.
Any other questions or comments from the commission?
I do not.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you
Thank
for,
you.
thank you very much for attending. It was
Yeah,
very,
thank you.
very helpful. Is there a motion? And we, Nicole, I want to make sure that I'm correct. We do not have to make a decision today. We could postpone it till next week. So just so everybody's aware of that.
Well, I have to admit, coming into this meeting, I had a lot of questions.
I did too.
But I think I've got all my questions answered,
Yeah.
and that map really did help me out a
Yes.
lot, so.
Do you want that back?
You,
Oh, we can keep it. Great, thank you.
Yeah. Is there a motion?
Yeah, I guess I will make the motion to approve the Jefferson Springs Ranch boundary relocation request.
I will second that.
Any public comment? No. Any public comment? There's a motion and a second to approve the Jefferson Spring Ranch boundary relocation. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is Nicole Brown, Judith Reynolds, family transfer.
Nicole Brown, Broadwater County Community Development Director, here today to present the Judith Reynolds Certificate of Survey Exemption request for a boundary agreement, a boundary relocation, a family transfer, to define a portion of the 60-foot wide county road right-of-way limit for Filson Road based on the existing physical center line of road, and to create a 30-foot wide private access easement. These are all shown on one certificate of survey exemption request that you should have in front of you.
This was reviewed by Megan Bullock, our cemetery,
That is correct.
and she had a request.
She did, and I did pass that on to the surveyor. The surveyor did respond via email that he received those comments and would be making those changes. But those changes are not reflected on your documents here.
But they will be.
They will be shown on the final survey. I also have some documents for you, commissioners, pertaining to the affidavit. I don't know that you received those in your packet. The affidavit was a part of the survey was submitted a few months ago from the Judith Reynolds Trust. At that time, it was discovered by myself and our Deputy County Attorney, Jania Hatfield, that a trust, according to our Broadwater County subdivision regulations, a trust cannot perform a family transfer. So a change was made by the owner of the property, but I do have today the affidavit from the original COS that was reviewed by the by the Certificate of Survey Examining Board. And if you would like, I can give you those documents today. You did receive those; they were posted on the website, but I have copies of them here if you'd like them. So what I'm going to pass out to you, commissioners, is the affidavit. This one still states the Judith Ann Reynolds Trust. We will need an affidavit from Judith Reynolds' person, along with the power of attorney.
Is that the right one?
Yep.
Okay. No. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
I have that. So if you'd like to, we can go over this survey first, and I can kind of explain to you what is happening with each of these transactions, because there are 5 of them occurring on this one survey. So let's start with number 1, a boundary agreement. So if I can bring your attention to the actual certificate of survey itself, and bring your attention to the southerly, east, and west boundaries of Tract B as it's described on this survey. You can see on those boundary lines it states boundary agreement, so no boundaries are being moved. This is a boundary agreement between Winston Livestock Company and Judith Reynolds. So simply establishing those boundaries. Sometimes we call those boundary agreements, and I can't think of the other word. But in any sense, it's not a relocation, a retracement,
Okay.
a boundary retracement, where they're simply establishing the boundaries between 2 property owners. Both property owners sign on the survey stating that they agree that this is the location of that boundary. Nothing's being moved. So just the establishment and the agreement that, yes, both parties, both sides of the fence agree that this is where the boundary lies. So that's the first transaction. Any questions on that before I move on to number 2? Okay. Number 2 is the boundary relocation. And if you look more westerly on this survey, there's a boundary relocation between Tract B and the Tract A1. You can see there's an eliminated boundary, and there is a relocated boundary identified at that location. I tend to believe that maybe the boundary location should have occurred after the family transfer, because this is a relocation of the transferred property. So where that boundary is moving, Tract A1 is the parcel being transferred. That's the family transfer parcel. So at least in order of this survey, maybe they should have been flip-flopped and made the family transfer 2 and the boundary location 3. But that might just be my preference. I don't know that that's necessary legally or according to Montana Association of Registered Land Surveyor laws. It just would make more sense to have done it that way. So when you're looking at that relocated boundary, you have to envision that Tract A1 is not necessarily, it's not created today.
That's a really funky boundary relocation. I was curious about that. Like, that was a very interesting, like, why? Was it following something?
When I pull up, and I haven't spoken, I know that Kim Perry is here today, and can I guess that you're Mrs. Reynolds or Miss Reynolds? Okay, thank you. Nicole Brown, we have not met yet. So that might be a better question for them, but when I overlay it on aerial photography, there is a tree line that follows that relocated boundary.
Okay.
So I don't know if that just made a natural boundary line. And I don't know if you'd like to pause for questions of the owner now, or if you'd like to wait to the end. The questions, I'm sorry, of the owners. It's up to you.
We can, if you feel comfortable answering it. Yeah. Yeah.
My name is Kim Perry, Kimperry, and I hope I'm answering this correctly. I'm not completely prepared, but I believe what I was told from our surveyor is that it was an old fence line by Winston Livestock Company, and when we spoke with Matt Deal, who owns it, it would be a big deal and very expensive to move the fence, and it's been that way for many, many, many years. So they were just told that it would be best if Matt signed off, which I believe he did. Maybe you know that, Nicole, to make that adjustment.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Number 3.
Ready to move on? Okay. Number 3 is the family transfer. So in this instance, tract A1 is the gifted parcel that's being gifted by Judith Ann Reynolds to Kim Perry, her daughter. So again, a new affidavit will need to be submitted, removing the Judith Ann Reynolds trust as the landowner and making that as Judith Reynolds. And I didn't realize that until this morning, so that was an error on my part, not the surveyor's part or the owner's part. I just realized that affidavit still has the Judith Ann Reynolds trust language or name on it. So it would be an amendment to the affidavit, the one that I just passed out to you, to state Judith Ann Reynolds. So the intention isn't changing, but that language needs to be amended.
Madam Chair, may I ask a question? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Nicole. So, Kim, I'm sorry, is your name Kim? Okay. So, my name's Jania Hatfield. I'm the Deputy County Attorney. And I've been kind of looking at this one because it's a little bit unusual because of the power of attorney is being used. So one of the things I'm trying to kind of look at is, does this fit within the scope of that power of attorney? So can you tell me a little bit about why we're using the power of attorney and why, your mom's not just signing it and doing it herself, or?
Well, that's a great question, and I was made her power of attorney years ago.
Okay.
And I do act on most of the things financially, all of that, in communication with her because she's totally, in good shape for almost 82 years old.
Impressive.
But I do handle a lot of her business.
Okay.
Honestly, I get confused on all the documents and even the terminology, and I'm sorry about that, but I do believe that the transfer happened already recently from Judith Reynolds Trust to herself personally, and this might be the documents that I have.
Yep.
But I don't know if I'm answering your question because I do use the power of attorney with communication with her.
Yeah.
But I actually thought that she was signing on these things herself.
Okay. Yes. So what I will tell you, so Nicole is saying that you need to fill out a new affidavit because of that change in the deed, which does make it so we can do a family transfer. If you're able to have her sign, then I would say that is a lot better, because the problem I was having is it's a family transfer that's supposed to be like a mom transferring to a daughter, right?
Correct.
But with you signing with the power of attorney, it looks like you transferring to yourself. which doesn't necessarily fit under that family transfer. But if you're, I mean, she's here. Like, if you're willing to do that, and Nicole can get you guys the affidavit. I know Nicole has it, and that would then actually solve a lot of the questions that I've had, if that's what you're willing to do.
It may be that while I was in Colorado, somebody asked for my signature to simplify things. I don't know, because it's been a long process and a lot has happened with all of it. It's very convoluted to me.
Yes, I fully understand that, and I know this one's been a bit long. So, yeah, so that's just, if you're willing to do that, I think that would actually, at least from the legal perspective that I'm looking at, that would actually iron out most of the things I'm seeing.
We're happy to do that. Am I right, Mom?
Yes, you're right. Thank you, because those were
Right.
mine.
Yep.
Yeah, that really does help.
Yeah,
So,
helps now.
okay. So really, we just need to redo the affidavit to change that language up there at the top.
There's
Is that-
only one other issue. I don't know that TJ has looked at this. There's some road stuff on here, and I don't know if he's looked at it.
Yeah, I will talk about that. I was just concerned about this part.
Regarding the family transfer part
Yeah.
of it,
Yes.
yes. Yeah, we'll still finish walking through the rest of the exemptions being used on the survey, but that certainly could be a fix. I do have the affidavit form in my office that Ms. Reynolds can sign and complete. I'm just looking over the previous affidavit, and from what I've heard and from what I can visualize, nothing will change other than it will be Judith Ann Reynolds' person, not Judith Ann Reynolds Trust, making the gift, and that Miss Judith Ann Reynolds will be signing as the applicant, and Miss Kim Perry will be signing as the recipient. And those will need to be notarized. So that can be accomplished today. We do have several notaries in the courthouse. Unfortunately, they go to lunch from noon to 1. So, and I likely will not be back over to the courthouse by noon, but we can set it up for a future date as well.
So, Leon, Jania, and Nicole, should we wait till this paperwork is done and put this on the agenda for next week?
Yes.
Other than accept it with an edit.
Yeah, I would say you want that final affidavit before you grant one of these, but I other than we need to talk to TJ,
Right.
I would say that solves
Yes.
any issues on the family transfer.
Thank you.
Any further questions on the family transfer?
No.
All right, moving on. Number 4, define a portion of the 60-foot wide county right-of-way limit for Filson Road based on the existing physical center line of road. So if I can draw your attention to the northeast portion of Tract A2 on your survey, you can see where there's kind of a shaded out area. That's the road. And it states a 60-foot wide county road right-of-way easement, newly defined limits per this COS, based on the physical center line of road. Hatch area, oh gosh, I should have brought my glasses. See sheet 3 of 3. Okay, so you can also see it on there's a second COS. It's the same COS. It's just a more zoomed in version of this Tract A2. So what this portion of the survey is doing, Filson Road meanders outside of the designated 60-foot easement at that location. As we are all quite aware, the county road easements typically follow a very tidy pattern. The easements do, maybe not the roads, but the easements do, of following section lines and traveling in very direct east-west, north-south locations. Filson Road takes a bit of a meander at that location, so what this survey is doing is depicting that meander of Filson Road as it travels south onto Miss Reynolds' property, more commonly known as Tract A2. So I do believe that the commissioners and TJ, our Broadwater County Public Works Director, should weigh in on this or have the opportunity to weigh in on this. I am certainly not a road expert. I don't know what the implications of this may be if the county decides to agree to this, because it is very clear that this survey is stating a 60-foot wide county road right-of-way easement, newly defined limits per this COS. So I don't know if you'd like TJ to weigh in on this. I know it's putting him on the spot, or if you'd like to weigh in on this, or if you'd like to pause and wait a week and have discussions with him.
I would like TJ to tell us what he knows now.
I will leave these up here, TJ, so you can
And then again, maybe let's
view them.
Yeah.
So just for your reference, this is the entire survey. This is Filson Road, and then as it travels here on Miss Reynolds' property.
So I think just for clarification, yeah, you found it on the second page.
Yeah.
You got it. Okay, very good.
Yeah, there's a little.
Okay, TJ Gravely, Public Works Director. This was actually brought to my attention probably 10, 15 minutes ago, and I've been sitting on my phone trying to decipher what they're trying to do. So I apologize that I'm unprepared for this, but here goes. I guess one of my questions is going to be, are you asking for the road to be changed? Are you asking for just your property be relocated on the the north side of the road, which I have no bearing on. I do have bearing on the road itself, because if you're asking for that road to be moved, there is no other place for that road to be moved in Filson Road. I guess that's kind of where I'm at. I would like a chance to do a little research on this myself to kind of educate myself a little bit, or if they would like to answer my questions, I would be willing to listen to that.
I would be happy to, but I don't think I could do that properly. I don't know enough about it. I'm so sorry. I heard about the Filson Road, but I'd have to ask my surveyor.
Okay.
I think the ultimate question here that is he just kind of correcting, like, does it show on your current plat that it goes straight and he's correcting it because the road actually does something else, or is he platting in here that the road's going to move? I think
he does not expect the road to move.
Okay.
I definitely know that.
You definitely know
Yes.
that. So it's more that it's correcting the way
Yes.
to show how the road actually runs.
Yes.
Okay.
Or how their property runs across the section lines, probably.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah. And then the only other thing that I will need to do for you, Commission, is do a little research on, does that mean we need to abandon the previous easement to then create this new easement, right? Usually when a road, when a county road is changed, the path of that county road is changed, we usually abandon whatever piece and then recreate. So we do need to look a little bit into what the process is here. One option, because I do think that would be a process, one option would be to look at moving forward without the road piece and then doing the road piece separately.
Yeah.
If, so that it can get solved and then we make sure it goes through the right process. Because if we don't properly abandon a road, then we end up with problems on our books of, we now have two spots where we've got an easement for a road and that turns into can turn into a little bit of a rat's nest. So that might be something we need to look at a little bit.
I believe with your relocation, you're going to draw into, I don't know if it's Fay or whoever's on the north side of the road, that's going to draw their 30 feet into their portion of the road.
Yeah, so what happens in a road easement, when you've got a road, right, and there's the easement, then if it's abandoned, then the property owner on this side takes the half, and the property owner on this side takes half.
Correct.
The good news is she's the owner of that property.
Oh, is she the owner of both sides?
Perfect.
Well, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
That solves that. That's not an issue.
I hope I'm saying correctly because I'm not looking at a map. But,
Yeah. So do you want to look
94
on?
acres across the road, so yes.
So what we're talking about is right here where the road is.
Yes.
It should have run along this section line right here. Is what it probably should have done. So does she own up here?
Well, where's the driveway going into the north piece?
Let's see if I can find it on there. Can you see it on
This is
there?
your mom's right here.
Right there. Then yes, definitely she owns that.
Okay.
94 acres over there. So hopefully that makes it simple.
So that helps.
Yes,
Thank
good
you.
deal.
Okay. So is that where we at? We good?
Gates.
Yeah, I just think the only thing that we need to look into a little bit is process on this, because my only concern, if we just move forward with this, is that then we've got an easement recorded twice in different ways. And I don't want there to be confusion. Generally what happens is 20 years down the road, we look back and then we don't remember what we were doing. So I just don't want there to be confusion there. So I would like over the course of this week to look at that and see if we can figure out a way to do it.
Number 5.
Yes, this is the one I'm having a little more difficulty identifying. I've looked at this survey a few times, but I am unable to discern. Oh, that's probably Alana Griffith. She will be calling in for West Side Trails. So,
Hello, this is Commissioner Rickmeyer.
Yes, hi, this is Alana Griffith.
Yep, we were expecting your call. We're not quite to your agenda item yet. Do you mind hanging with us on the phone?
No worries. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
so if I can draw your attention again in that same area that we were just looking at regarding the meander of Filson Road, right? The realignment of Filson Road. There's a 30-foot wide private access easement created for this survey. I suspect it's probably, now hearing that that's Judith Reynolds' property north of the road, I suspect that's probably what it's for, but lack of information on that northerly property identifying it as Judith's property, I wasn't sure what the purpose of that 30-foot access easement or private access easement was. But now hearing this information from Ms. Perry, it makes more sense why that 30-foot access easement is there if Ms. Reynolds also owns that property. Am I making myself clear, I guess, on that? I'm making some assumptions there, which again, is why I'm glad that they are able to be here today to answer some of these questions.
Yeah.
May I?
My question is, if we're creating a new access, do we need to get a permit? Access easement permit?
So
or driveway.
typically approaches are approved at the time that the address or the approach is requested. I don't know that you can, I truly don't know that you can ask for an approach permit at the time an easement is created.
Right.
I mean, it seems like you probably could, but typically the approaches are asked for at the time the actual physical approach is requesting to be installed.
I'm not aware of any access being requested.
It's kind of difficult to see on here, Kim, but it's here and it's identified as item number 5 on your survey.
I've got it zoomed in if you want
you
it
do?
zoomed
Okay.
in on my
Nicole,
computer.
Am I looking at the correct?
Get everybody.
Is that what you're talking about? Sorry. Okay.
I think that's a drive-through.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
there's,
that's what
it's
I'm-
not
okay,
new.
that's number
Okay.
5.
So they're creating
Has that been there
the
for a
easement.
while?
I believe
And that was the
so.
drive you were talking about.
Yeah, so I think, so we'll tell the commission that and then I'll.
Yeah, I marked it.
Yeah, I'm right, yeah, right here. Right here, I got it. Yeah, perfect, thanks.
That one, okay. So Commission, what I'm being told, just to kind of summarize, because we were having a side conversation, it sounds like this has actually been here for a really long time, and for many years. And so what my thought is, maybe we need to talk with the surveyor who created this and see, do we actually need a new easement put in, or was there already one there, or is he, like, maybe there wasn't already one there, but it's been there for years, so he's adding the easement? I think we need clarification from the surveyor on that. Nicole, do you have the contact number for the surveyor? Okay.
Yep, absolutely do. Yeah, I will email him today. Yeah, so that obviously if that easement has been there on the ground, or I'm sorry, the access has been there on the ground, it's highly plausible that the surveyor simply felt it was appropriate to show it on the survey, but I don't like to draw assumptions.
So is it fair to say that we can put this on the agenda for next week?
I think so. The only piece that might not get fully solved is the road piece, but I think you could move forward with other pieces and give a little more time on the roads. But I will start research on the road to see if maybe I can get you an answer by next week.
Okay.
So commissioners, if I may, the surveyor could amend this survey to eliminate that item number 4 on the survey, which seems like that would be appropriate at the time. We would amend the affidavit for item number 3, the family transfer, and give a better description of what's occurring for item number 5. Does that sound appropriate?
Works for me.
Madam Chairman,
Yes.
I had another thought, and so
Okay.
I'm going to bring it up. So I think you have actually 2 options here. If you want to move it quickly, because I do know that they've waited quite a bit of time for this. There you go. So if you want to move it quickly, that's the way to go, okay?
I appreciate that, really, and I meant that also for a chuckle, but really.
I appreciate it.
It's something you think of when you're my age, and I want to get this
done.
quickly and done right, and
Okay.
Mr. Reynolds would be so happy to know what we're doing here.
Okay, good, good.
Yeah.
So then I think if we're wanting to do it fast, the way we just talked about is your fast way. So let's go forward that way.
That's our goal as
Thank
well.
you.
Okay,
Totally understand.
perfect. So I will reach out to your surveyor today and let him know of these concerns. I will also have him, should he have the time to view this meeting, I think that will be helpful for him in understanding the why we are asking, why Broadwater County is making this ask for the amendment to number 3, the affidavit, eliminate number 4, and describe number 5 better, all off of this proposed COS, correct?
Those are my notes.
Those are mine. Okay,
Perfect.
perfect.
And I assure you, we will
Thank you.
work as fast as we can. I understand the process.
Don't make me show you all the gray hair. Don't
You
make
earned
me
them
do
all.
that.
I respect.
But you know, those things are relevant, and when, as you go along, you don't really realize that when you're like, oh, wait a minute, let's get it done in case.
And I
Thank
apologize.
you for helping me with
It's
that.
just part of the government procedure is not always fast. It's rarely fast.
Not always.
Yeah, rarely.
Rarely.
So we will have this on the agenda for the 15th.
Yep.
Okay, thank you all very much. Next on the agenda, Nicole Brown. Updating phasing plan for West Side Trails.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
All right, Nicole Brown, here today to essentially introduce Mark Fasting, who we will be presenting to the commissioners an updated and/or request for an amended phasing plan for the West Side Trails Major Subdivision. The West Side Trails Major Subdivision is located in portions of Section 18, Township 2 North, Range 1 East, in southerly Broadwater County. This is a phased development. And previously, I apologize I don't have the date, but previously the Broadwater County Commissioners approved a phasing plan. And that phasing plan, those timelines have changed a bit. So Mark Fasting is here today to present a request to amend the phasing plan for West Side Trails Phases 3 and 4. Hopefully you have a copy of your phasing plan, and I will turn it over to Mr. Mark Fasting with Allied Engineering, who is the engineer on the project. And Alana Griffith, who is on the phone, is legal representative for West Side Trails developer.
Sure. Good afternoon, Mark Fasting at Allied Engineering. So I just wanted to basically ensure that you have the reference to the old phasing plan, which I believe is in the packet of April of April 8th, 2022. And the new phasing plan, which is basically this October 30th, and I have copies of this. I'm not sure if you got the October 30th or not in hand.
This is change.
But it's identical in terms of the phasing. There's no changes to the actual phasing of the subdivision. What we're trying to do here is just update the timeline as the project proceeds for final plat on Phase 3, which we're hoping to be in front of you here in the next week or two for final plat of Phase 3. And let me hand this out and just make sure everybody has a copy.
October 30th.
Yeah. They do? Okay, perfect.
Thank you very much.
Yep. And just in essence, it's just an update, and phase 3 is basically, it just got pushed back about a year and a half from the previous date. And phase 4 about the same. And these are all anticipated dates, to the best of our knowledge, based on build out and market demand and so forth. Just wanted to get a little bit closer to where we're at today before final plat for phase 3. Here to answer any questions if you have any.
Okay, I got a couple, I guess.
Okay.
So currently no construction going on in phase 3?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I guess if I remember from in the past, on the road portion, we did finally have to have our, at that time it was Josh that did the inspecting of the interior roads. In this case, it will be TJ. We still need to do that. Is that correct? Okay.
Yeah, just to follow up, there's a improvements agreement as part of our final plat application for finished top surfacing, 3-inch thickness of all the internal roads for phase 3. And the reason for that was to try to allow the construction equipment, I mean, the road section exceeds the county regs, so it's a good stout section. But in terms of finished gravel and a finished surface, our hope is to at least allow for most of the construction to occur so they don't just beat it up and then have to kind of reblade it again. So. And then I'll just an update, not that this has anything to do with the phasing plan, but for phase 2, we recently paved Wheatland Road from Rolling Glen Ranch Road to Oregon Trail. And TJ, I probably need you to attest that Wheatland Road is paved from Highway 287 to Rolling Glen Ranch Road, and then of course the new project where we paved an additional 958 feet. The reason I say that is as we go through the conditions of approval for each phase, we're having to prove what was done in the past, and that 2 miles of Wheatland was paved back in 2008, but I will attest that it's paved. I've driven that road many times, but I think the best way to prove it, other than giving you hundreds of pictures, is TJ knows his roads and he's been out there, so that would be helpful. Again, maybe not so much to do with the phasing plan amendment, but just an update on what's going on out there. So, appreciate it.
So the new stretch was done this summer, I guess, from Rolling Glen to the west side of Oregon Trail. The part that isn't finished, and I've made this aware to Mark and Glenn Clements, that Lumen has not put in their phone lines yet or hydro-seeded, and I think that was, stated in the email that I sent to Glenn. Mark actually reached out to me this morning just before the commission meeting and asked that I would email, I believe, you on that?
Sure.
Sorry.
Oh, it's fine. It's not for today. It's just
but yes, it is paved from Highway 287 to the west side of Oregon Trail. And I do have the compaction test that I have looked at.
So do we still need to do then the final interior road inspection of phase 2?
I can answer that question.
Yeah.
That's a great question.
Yep.
That has not been done yet.
Okay.
We're going to apply for an extension for surface gravel on phase 2, mainly because of availability of contractors has been really hard to come by. So our hope is to get an extension to you and get those internal roads. That's completely separate from Phase 3, but there is a financial improvements, financial guarantee that if you guys wanted to run with it, you could, but our hope is to get an extension so we can get it done and then release the funds. We obviously want to get ahead of it, or our client does, I should say, so that you guys don't have to manage and hire contractors and everything like that, so.
Any other questions for Nicole or Jania or Mark?
I'm just looking at the Phase 3 map.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe just to clarify, Mark, you might have to clarify this for us. I'm looking at the portion that's on the west side, and it looks like there's a small connecting point in between. Is that all part
They
of
are.
part of Phase 3? Okay.
Yeah, that was just to clarify, rather than, as part of our previous phasing plan, the intent was, rather than the next phase be a corner and be next to the interstate, they spread that out and just went adjacent to Phase 1, which on that initial page has 33 lots on the east side below Phase 1, and then on the west side below Phase 2 is 20 lots for 53 total.
Okay.
So they do touch.
Okay.
And Phase 3 is basically a skinny piece that parallels and just kind of takes it down a little bit.
Okay, and it looks like, is it Chisholm Trail then connects to Overland, is that right?
It does, and that is, it will be part of the Phase 3 connection.
Okay.
Yes. And that's part of the financial guarantee as well, that was included in terms of adding the surface coarse gravel.
Okay. I think that's all I have for right now. Are we going to go over findings of fact at all? Is that part of our process here today?
Nope, not part of this process for this particular appointment. I'll defer to Jania, but I think it would be prudent, since you did approve the previous phasing plan at a former meeting, if you agree to this phasing plan, and I'll just read it into the record, it's quite brief.
Right.
I'm not going to read the entire document, but just the proposed phases. So West Side Trails Subdivision Phase 1 consisted of 47 lots on 87.61 acres. That was recorded on November 10th of 2008. And this is the second page of your document. West Side Trails Subdivision Phase 2 consisted of 50 lots on 110.99 acres. This phase was recorded on September 9th of 2021. West Side Trails Subdivision Phase 3, consisting of 53 lots on 100.79 acres, proposed final plat approval and/or recording will be November or December of 2023. Anticipated Phase 3 build-out of 53 lots, 20 homes per year. They anticipate about 2.12 years for build-out. So the amendment to that portion of the phasing plan that you previously approved will be a November-December 2023 final plat approval for Phase 3. That's not obligating you to it, that's simply the phasing plan. And then moving on, West Side Trail Subdivision Phase 4, consisting of 92 lots on 237.22 acres. Proposed final plat application in December of 2025, with proposed final plat recording in February of 2026. Anticipated Phase 4 build-out of 92 lots at a rate of 25 homes per year is a final build-out of 3.68 years. Also, important to note that once the final plat is recorded for Phase 4, build-out may occur at whatever pace the market dictates. So today, you simply would be approving, if you choose to approve, the phasing plan amendment to state that these dates of phasing for Phase 3 will be potentially November, December 2023, and for Phase 4, potentially December of 2025 for submittal of final plat. Again, not obligating you to approve it in that time frame, just giving you a better look at what the developer's intentions are for submittal for final plat. Did that answer your question?
Yep.
And we are not under a deadline to do this today if we don't desire.
No, ma'am.
I did not say
No
that,
deadline.
you know.
No deadline, no requirement to make a motion on this today.
But we certainly can.
Yes. Well, I think that's what your agenda says, yes.
Any other questions? Is there a motion?
I will move to update the phasing plan for West Side Trails Major Subdivision. Township 2 North, Range 1 East, Section 18, excuse me. Did that include everything it needed?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah. The amendment to the phasing plan.
I'll second it.
Is there any public comment? Any public comment? There's a motion and a second to approve the updates to phasing plan for West Side Trails Major Subdivision. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
Madam Chair, I do want to bring up a point, though.
Absolutely.
In looking through the findings of fact and the conditions of approval for West Side Trails, it specifically states that there's no vehicle access along the northern property line of West Side Trails subdivision. So I think we all know that there's an approach there, Lot 43.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear exactly what you said there.
So, Wheatland Drive.
Okay.
As you go past Oregon Trail, it's about the fourth lot up the hill. And
Oh.
it's Lot 43.
Yeah.
There's that approach there, and
Shouldn't be there.
it should not be there.
Correct.
And I believe, since you guys are still the majority shareholder of the property, that you're responsible for enforcing that.
Okay.
We
Yeah.
need to get that out of there.
Sounds good. I'll make sure Alana's on the phone as well, so make sure the owner knows and that
Okay.
we get that done.
All right, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Next on the agenda, Nicole Brown. Request amendment to preliminary plat approval of West Side Trail subdivision.
Nicole Brown, Broadwater County Community Development Director, here today to essentially, again, I'm going to introduce Alana Griffith. She is legal counsel for the West Side Trails Major Subdivision Development. Each of you should have a copy of the findings of fact in order for the West Side Trails Major Subdivision dated February 26, 2007. If you do not have that copy, I'm happy to provide you with one. And the pages are not numbered, so you're just going to have to flip pages in your findings of fact in order document to the page at the top of it states order. And I'd like to draw your attention to condition number 3, and I will pause there and wait for you to get there before I read that condition.
Number 3, you said.
Number 3, yes, ma'am. So this is condition number 3 of the West Side Trails major subdivision. It states, proof of the approval from the Department of Natural Resources and Conservation for the change in use of the agricultural water right shall be submitted prior to final plat approval. So to give you a slight bit of history on this, as I'm sure Alana will delve into it more, but I did meet with Alana Griffith, Mark Fasting, and Curtis Van Dyken, who is also a representative on this project. We met informally a few weeks ago, and we were actually going over items for proposed final plat approval for Phase 3 and gathering items. We came upon this condition number 3 and realized that it may no longer be applicable, which then led us down this path of scheduling time on this commission meeting for Ms. Alana Griffith to make a request to the commission to potentially look at amending this preliminary plat to remove condition number 3. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Alana Griffith. I'll let her spell her name just so I don't mistake it. So Alana, if you wouldn't mind spelling your name just for the record, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. My name is Alana Griffith, ALANHGRIFFITH. I'm with Griffith & Associates in Big Sky, Montana. My address is P.O. Box 179-748 in Big Sky. All right, so this has come up a number of times, and for those of you who have been on the commission for a time, I don't know if you remember, but we talked about this when we approved Phase 2. What happened is when this initially was approved, at the time the stockyard had not come before you. And we were looking at this water right, and we went with the fire department, and this seemed the perfect water right to use as a fire fill site because of the size of it. It was not ideal because of the location, being in the very back of Wheatland Drive. But the fire department said this, with what we have before us, this is the best that we can do. Let's turn it into a fire fill site. That's why we were doing the change of use. In the meantime, during the crash of 2008, the stockyard came up. They also had a very large water right, and instead, we paid money to develop that as a fire fill site, which is a more ideal location for the fire fill site. So, according to the fire department, this is no longer, our water right is no longer needed as a fire fill site. It would be a very poor use of water in the area to do another fire fill site. It's not needed. They have what they need at the stockyard. So that's why we're asking to strike the condition, just because with the time that's gone on, it's just no longer necessary. What questions do you have for me?
Madam Chair, may I ask a quick question?
Please.
Hi, Alana. It's Jania Hatfield, Deputy County Attorney. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I just want to quickly, they're passing me a mic so you can actually hear me. I just want to quickly verify with you, you guys have a fire plan that is in place with the fire district, and it does not include using this water right that you want taken off. Am I correct in that understanding?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that if we are taking it out, that it's formally part of the plan. That's all.
Correct. We are part of the fire department's fire plan, which includes the fire site down at the stockyard and no longer includes one on the West Side Trail subdivision.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Alana.
Hey, Alana, this is Commissioner Folkvord. I was around at that time and actually got my notes from August 25th, 2021, when we discussed that. And is there another proposed use for this well? Just curious.
Thank you, Commissioner. I appreciate the question. No, it's an interesting right. It is not, and you being a farmer, I think that I know you understand the different types of rights. This is not a right by use. This is a right by, and I forget the terminology, but it was a acquired right after the 1973 change in the law. And so it is very, very strictly used, and it's a license. And the state, we've been in negotiation with the state of what to do with it. The state, we just don't know, and the state doesn't know what they will allow it to be used for, since it's a license, not an acquired right.
Yeah, okay. All right, so really at this point, it's just there, and I guess once you get sorted through that, it could possibly be used for something else, maybe, huh?
Correct. We were using it to hay.
Okay, okay. All right, good enough. Just for a point of discussion, as other subdivisions, their proposal has always been to use the same fire protection plan at the Headwaters Fire Stockyard. I guess at what point are we going to exceed its capabilities? I'm just throwing that out there for down the road and further discussions for us to keep in the back of our mind. And that's all I wanted to say on that. So.
Well, thank you, everyone. If there's no further questions.
I really don't have any others.
I don't have any.
Rhetorical question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Where's the water?
Thank you very much for being here on the telephone. It helps a lot. Any other questions for Nicole or Mark Fasting? Do you have
No.
anything? Is there a motion?
That's what I was just getting.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and make a motion. I know we've discussed this several times, and I think that probably this is the time to go ahead and approve this request. So I guess the request is to amend the preliminary plat, the West Side Trails, to eliminate condition number 3.
I'll second that.
Sorry, I'm still there. Any public comment? Any public comment? There's a motion and a second for West Side Trails major subdivision to amend the preliminary plat to eliminate condition number 3. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Thank you, Nicole, Alana, and Mark, very much.
So Commissioners, if I may interject here, I will have a subsequent document for you to sign. I didn't want to anticipate your motion today. So I will have a document to sign essentially stating that on this date, November 8th, 2023, the Commissioners made a motion to amend the preliminary plat to eliminate condition number 3, and then I will have each of you sign that document that will travel with this findings of fact and order, and it will be attested by Clerk and Recorder Angie Paulson.
Perfect.
So, okay.
Thank you for all your work on this, Nicole.
Thanks.
And helping me understand it. I was just going to say, don't go far. You're leaving. Nicole Brown.
Nicole Brown, Broadwater County Community Development Director. At this point, I am going to, again, we are still discussing West Side Trails. The topic at hand is the release of funds for Wheatland Road. I have asked TJ Gravely, Broadwater County Public Works Director, to be present for this meeting because this is pertaining to Wheatland Road. I believe Alana Griffith is going to stay on the line. She's likely the one who will be making the request. Mark Fasting is the engineer on the project, who you may have questions of. So what I'm getting at, all key players are in this room to help you make your decision, should you choose to make a decision today, but you are under no obligation to do so. So with that being said, I have received information from the engineer on Wheatland Road, on West Side Trails for Phase 2. So to give you, as well as the general public, a bit of history on this, West Side Trails Phase 2 did receive final plat approval. One of the conditions of approval was that 958 feet. I believe the agenda says 848. I was taking that from the engineer plans, but I did hear Mr. Fasting speak to 958, so I'll let him give that exact number. So somewhere between 848 and 958 lineal feet of paving was performed on Wheatland Road, which is a county road in southern Broadwater County. So a condition of approval due to the impacts, the traffic impacts from Phase 2 of West Side Trails, it was required that that portion of Wheatland Road was paved from where the paving previously ended at the intersection with Rolling Glen Ranch Road, which is a north-south road that intersects with Wheatland Road, onto Oregon Trail, which is the easternmost entrance to West Side Trails. So that was a condition of approval of Phase 2. The developers at the time decided to present a subdivision improvements agreement, which is allowable by Montana state law and our Broadwater County subdivision regulations. Basically a bid for the amount of paving plus 25%. So Montana Title and Escrow provided a bid to Broadwater County for 125% of the estimate for paving that portion of Wheatland Road. So at this time, it is believed that Wheatland Road is indeed paved from that from the intersection with Rolling Glen Ranch Road to the intersection with to Oregon Trail, traveling west. The engineer has signed off on it. What other documentation do I have? I do have the estimate for paving. So in order for the paving company to be paved, the engineer is requesting that Broadwater County release the bond with Montana Title and Escrow. The amount of this bond is $96,297. So we really just want to be sure that indeed that paving is completed, even though the engineer did sign off on it, and TJ also did draft a letter stating as such. But the final step in this process is for the commissioners to agree with everyone's statement, written and verbal, that that road has been paved and meets all Broadwater County road standards. So with that, I don't know, Lana, if you have anything more to lend to that, if there's anything I left off, any other clarifying statements or comments that can be made. But I'm also happy to answer any questions that I may, or turn them over to Mark Fasting or TJ Gravely.
Could you repeat the amount?
For the bond?
No, thank you so much. I think that you covered it.
Perfect. Okay, so the amount of the bond being held with Montana Title and Escrow is $96,297. And that was estimated at 125% of the amount it would cost for paving. So thank you, Ilana.
I have the TJ email saying the paving was done this past summer. Are there any questions for anyone here?
I think we already heard DJ attest to the fact that it's done. I know I've been out there a couple of times with him as well, and it is completed, except for that part that he discussed with the phone line and the seating, so.
Mark has something behind you.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mark.
That's all right. I could just clarify the lineal footage. The 848 lineal feet was from the property line west. Prior to the plans and the topo, it was realized that there was a gap at Rolling Glen Ranch Road where we needed to connect. Obviously, we weren't going to not pave that, so it provided the additional 110 feet, so it's a total of 958 lineal feet. Same endpoint going west past Oregon Trail. So just so everybody understands.
Yep. I think I also want to add that we appreciate the developer and everybody working with us on a drainage issue that we had there at Rolling Glen Ranch Road and Wheatland. Yeah, that's a great improvement. Thanks for doing that. I think it's going to make a big difference in the future too. to keep that improvement intact. So thanks for working with us on that.
There's not any questions. Any more questions? Is there a motion?
You said 950 total.
58.
58, 950. Jeez, I'm having trouble with numbers today, sorry. All right, I will move to approve the request for the release of funds from Montana Title and Escrow for subdivision improvement agreement for West Side Trails Phase 2, major subdivision, paving 958 feet of Wheatland Road.
Now second.
Any public comment? Any public comment online? There's a motion and a second to release the funds from Montana Title and Escrow for subdivision improvement agreement for West Side Trails. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
Thank you, Commissioners. And I do not have the document in front of me today for you, Chairperson Randolph, to sign, but the document will be forthcoming for you to sign, basically closing that final step for Montana Title and Escrow, excuse me, to see your signature for them to release those funds.
Perfect.
So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time. Mark, thank you always for coming down. Or up, whatever.
Dry roads is always.
Yes, it helps, doesn't it? I'm there. Nicole Brown, Rolling Glen Ranch, minor subdivision, request extension of preliminary plat decision.
Yes, Commissioners. Final item of the day, I believe. Thank you for sticking with us through this. This is all important stuff. So I am here today Nicole Brown, for the record, to present a request from Mr. Kavanaugh for an extension request to his Rolling Glen Ranch Estates minor subdivision. I did inform Mr. Kavanaugh that it was probably not necessary for him to be here, so the reason he is not here is my doing. But should you want him here or have questions directly of him, again, you are under no timeline or deadline to make this decision today. So I'm going to read from an email that I received from Mr. Steve Kavanaugh on Thursday, November 2nd, 2023. Good morning, Nicole. Thank you for your input. I would like to extend the approval period for our pending 3-lot minor until January 31st, 2024. I am doing this so that the WGM Group can complete their CTAP project and not create a conflict with the scope of work I've asked them to handle for me. Please let me know if there's anything else I need to do. Regards and blessings. So Mr. Kavanaugh is requesting an extension of his Rolling Glen Ranch Estates minor subdivision to January 31st, 2024. And when I state granting an extension request, it's an extension request for preliminary plat. Broadwater County currently has a deadline of November 18th, 2023, that we are obligated to make a decision of approval with conditions, or denial. So Mr. Kavanaugh is requesting that Broadwater County give an extension request for preliminary plat to November 31st, 2024.
Say that one more time.
Which part?
November.
All of it?
Did you say November 24th?
January?
It's been 2.5 hours.
January 31st,
Thank you.
2024.
Thank you.
Hang in there, guys. We just
I know.
Current deadline before you make a motion is November 18th, 2023. Maybe that's where I confused it. But the request before you is to grant that extension to January 31st, 2024.
Not having a 24 calendar in front of me, the deadline is the 31st of January, if we approve this. So we should probably have these meetings mid-January.
Mm-hmm. And
the second or third week or whatever.
For the record, the 31st is a Wednesday. So I would suggest that the commission schedule this for January 17th, 2024. Should you choose, first of all, to grant the extension, not making an assumption there. But the first meeting, January 17th, 2024, just to give you that bit of buffer to the deadline. So then it would allow for the 24th and the 31st.
Okay. Any questions for Nicole or Janine? If there's not any questions, is there a motion?
I guess maybe I have a question. If we don't grant an extension, what happens? Just in case anyone's wondering.
Certainly. This would go on the agenda for next Wednesday for the commissioners to make their determination of approval, preliminary approval with conditions, or denial of the Rolling Glen Ranch Estates minor subdivision. So you would be obligated to put it on next Wednesday's agenda and make your decision of one of those three options.
I will move to extend the Rolling Glen Ranch deadline to January 31st, 2024.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Any public comment? Any public comment? Seeing no public comment, there's a motion and a second to approve the request for an extension for a preliminary plat decision for Rolling Glen Ranch Estates till January 31st, 2024. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
Thank you, commissioners. Do you have anything else for me today before I
think you deserve
back
lunch.
to my office?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
I do have a couple claims to approve.
That would have been interesting too.
The first set of claims is for $20,420.13.
I'll move to approve claims for $20,420.13.
A second.
Any public comment? Any public comment? There's a motion and a second to approve the claims for $20,420.13. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next set of.
Yeah, you got to go slower. There's no way I'm going to remember it
I know.
at this point.
Next set of claims is for payroll for $267,633.38.
I'll move to approve the claim amount of $267,633.38.
I'll second that.
Any public comment? Any public comment? There's a motion and a second to approve the claims for $267,633.38. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Final set of claims is for $61,163.42.
I will move to approve claims for $61,163.42.
42 cents? Is that
Yes.
Thank you for checking.
I'll second.
Any public comment? No. All those in favor of approving the claims for $61,163.42 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Oops, sorry. We will have this letter that we received from the United States Department of Agriculture, the Forest Service, in partnership, I'm not going to read the whole letter, in partnership with Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Conservation Trust, will soon complete the Elkhorns 2 land acquisition. It's 40 acres of private holding in the Helena, Lewis and Clark National Forest, the south end of Elkhorn Mountains. The map and the letter will be in our office for anybody who would like to review it. I think that is it for the day. Anything else? Meeting's adjourned at 12:35.